All right, perfect. Welcome back, everyone. We're the runners. If you're just joining us, the runners have just met with Dr. Ford and gotten a job to investigate some stolen artifacts. And before we get back into things, there was a question asked that I just want each player to just give a quick, like, 2-sentence statement on how they got started on Shadowrun and how you can get into it. We'll start with
for that question. Pertaining to the hub or just in general?
Just in general. You can talk about the hub if you choose, though. Just if someone does it, then don't worry about that. So yeah, Bookworm, how did you get started in Shadowrun?
First real introduction was the Shadowrun Returns computer games, and after I played those, I got my hands on a copy of the core rule book and actually started just GMing with my home group because our regular GM didn't want to bother learning the new system.
Yep. All right, Sovereign.
Yeah. So basically, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of judgment for this. I basically dove into possibly the wrong deep end. I hopped on 4chan's TG board, and I, browsed the SRG. I looked at a couple of the rule books. Later, I, bought them. But, I basically dove into the deep end from that direction. I found the game online that was played through Roll20, and then I found the hub. So, yeah.
All right, Blur?
I started with the games, but I started way back in the day on the Sega Genesis. On the old Sega Genesis Shadowrun. So that was my introduction to the Shadowrun world, was Sega Genesis. I didn't actually sit down at a table, though, until 5 years ago-ish, and that was during 3rd edition. Since then, I've experienced all the editions, but really, if you're ever afraid to just about the tabletop, don't be. Everyone just wants to sit down at the table and have a fun time. Like, that's all it's about. You shouldn't. I know a lot of people are hesitant because they think they'll say something stupid or they'll do something stupid. We all were there. We all had to learn at one point. We're all here to just have fun.
We've all done something stupid.
Taking off that, when I GM, I actually put as one of my requirements that you want to have fun.
Yep. Just very quickly, Cassandra, then Proper Mike, and then we'll get back into the run.
I actually started... I didn't even know about the hub. I was searching Roll20 for Pathfinder games, actually, because I couldn't make the Pathfinder Society games at my local game store anymore. And in the process, I found Not Bob's Roll20 page for the hub, where he was advertising it. And that linked me to the hub page, which linked me to Chair Gen, and I dove off the deep end and built a character and started playing.
Yep.
And I've been addicted ever since.
Yep. And then lastly, Proper Mike.
I started playing 1st edition, but not when it came out. I started with a whole bunch of old Shadowrun Grognards at a local game store when I was 14 years old. I'm 32 right now, for some wonderful sense of perspective. And I read every Shadowrun book I could get my hands on when I was a teenager. And I didn't last very long at that old 1A table. And since then, I've played in a number of campaigns in 1st edition, 3rd edition, and 5th edition. I got back into 5th edition, into Shadowrun when 5th edition came out, because one of my favorite GMs of all time, who isn't on the hub, sadly, was GMing Shadowrun missions at a different local game shop. The previous one had since folded. And when missions ended, I had a character, Proper Mike, who I really liked the idea of, and looked around for Roll20 games for a while, and ended up finding the hub back in June of last year, and have been here ever since, as has Mike, although I did have to recreate him from scratch as a fresh character for the hub, obviously. But he was my original Shadowrun 5th edition face and still continues for now. Anyways.
Funny statement to go along with that one, Mike. Blur, I'm a GM, by the way, as well, for my actual store. And Blur is a slightly different take on one of the NPCs I created.
All right.
Wait.
It's one of those. I've actually made it my mission to try and bring some of the 1E modules. In fact, the very first set of runs that I did on the hub were the Silver Angel run broken down into 4 runs. I fully intend to bring Blood in the Boardroom and a number of other things back, obviously reskinned for 5th.
Bring back Harlequin for me. I want to play Harlequin.
I will not
bring back Harlequin.
But I will not be allowed nor want to bring back any of the Immortalists.
All right. With that all in mind, we'll try and answer some more questions if you have them after our next break. But we're going to go ahead and get back into the run.
When that happens, I've got an amusing story I'd like to share too.
Yep, definitely. I'm just trying to spread it between the sessions. So
Yep.
No problem.
But so you guys have called some contacts and arranged so that they will get back to you in about an hour, which should give you a little bit of time to mull that information over before you actually start investigating the place.
I do. One other thing I need to do during that hour, and that is Mike intends to send his fly spies, which are spoof chip to look like weather drones, to just fly over the museum and get a general layout of it and the surrounding blocks, just to get that bird's eye view while we start looking into this.
All right, yeah, that's no problem. There is an effective noise rating of 2, so I don't know if that matters for you. Just from the AR spam and stuff. So
the RCC will totally negate that much noise. Yep.
Perfect. So you send your fly spies up. What type of stuff are you looking for?
I'm just getting a basic overview of the physical location and the surrounding businesses, basically.
Yep. Yeah. So it's
I'm nothing super in depth. I just want to see: is there a supper shack across the street? Is there a restaurant down the road? Things. Is there a bank across the street from the main entrance that might have all sorts of cameras on it?
Yeah. Yes. You definitely get a sense of the layout. It takes a little bit of time for your fly spies to fly out that far, but once you get them out there, you see that the museum itself is relatively large. The front entrance has 4 Doric columns and made of white marble. And the local businesses, there isn't like a bank immediately in front, but there are multiple restaurants and bars in the immediate vicinity, as well as a small outdoor cafe immediately in front of the entrance. That still is seating people currently.
Okay.
Yep.
I just intended to get that information so that we can start looking at it when we sit down to do planning.
Yep, that is not a problem. All right, so I believe you guys were heading back to your safe house, Proper Mike, with about an hour and a half left until the museum walkthrough.
Yep, that was the intention.
Okay. Yeah, you guys make it with about an hour. It only takes you like 20 minutes or so to get there. So you have like an hour and 10 minutes. What do you guys do? Let's talk about.
Mike will let people know that he has put out a couple of feelers, and he has an investigator who is well known in the shadows for being able to keep tight-lipped, who will be willing to come with them to the crime scene to help with the investigative portion.
Wonderful.
Blair's going to turn to Cassandra and ask her, have you been able to look into those medical records yet?
Haven't had a chance yet. It's hard to drive and search the Matrix. But I can do that now.
Would you like some assistance with that?
I mean, I don't see why I couldn't have us help. It's always nice.
And then, yep, you get a total of +3 and 2 to limit.
+6.
Oh yeah, +6 if you have 6 ranks in computers.
I have 6 ranks in computers.
Yep.
Well, you get +3 to limit?
+4. Mike had 2 assists.
Yep.
He didn't get any hits, though. Does that still add to limit?
It still adds to limit, it just doesn't...
No, you don't. It doesn't add to limit if you don't get hits.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right. So we'll go with that. I'm not positive, but that sounds right. So we'll go with that. So you get +3 to your limit.
All right.
All right. Yeah. So you're looking for these medical reports, and so the threshold 3 is about half an hour, right?
Yep, 30 minutes.
Okay. So you spend the 30 minutes looking around, and you get the sense that medical reports of that nature would not be available on just the open matrix. However, you do find multiple news articles and obituaries about the security guards' deaths.
All right. I will get those then.
Yep.
And pass those on to Blur, since he's the one who asked.
Yep, and so in those news articles and reports, it covers a lot of the information that Dr. Ford mentioned. However, it goes more into detail about like the caliber of the bullet and stuff like that, and the type of bullet. So you now learn that the bullets were APDS ammo. Yep.
Interesting.
And after
Ford
looking at all that,
they were regular ammo.
and after looking at all the sad and depressing medical reports and obituaries, Cassandra's going to look for something nice and happy.
Okay, so you're going to look for cat pictures, or
I was
whatever
thinking
makes
puppies,
Cassandra
but
happy. Yeah.
Puppies and beds and lots of books.
Yep.
Rare books.
Baby rabbits, they're adorable.
Yes, baby rabbits. There we go.
Yep. So yeah, and about half an hour after you guys are sitting in this hideout of proper mics, Cassandra forwards that info. What are the rest of you guys doing while she's doing that?
Helping her with the search?
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, you pretty much all did. So.
Not Blur, but Blur's gonna sit there and twiddle his thumbs and then kind of pace around the room and look at probably a safe house, which is barren as crap because it's a safe house. And pretty much go stir crazy.
It's actually not entirely barren because I do pay for a full lifestyle for it. But it does have cheap cutout furniture that is plastic or faux wood. In general, there's 2 bedrooms. There is The exception to the low-class decor, which is a common theme among all of Mike's safe houses, is there is an actual real coffee machine in the kitchen, and the refrigerator is full of actual real food. There is no soy to be found within the fridge.
Oh, Sovereign is making herself a cup of coffee and going to make one for anyone that wants one.
Yeah, when you put the pot on, Mike will tell you to go ahead and grab the one off the shelf, top left cabinet. That's the good stuff. It's a great Amazonian blend that I picked up.
And she does just that.
Yep. All right. And so after this half-hour matrix search happens, what's next for you guys?
While Blur was standing waiting around, he shifted his hair back to his actual normal hairstyle, which is the fire. It looks like actual cabling, like you would find in a power conduit. But in the background of the cabling is what looks like space, solar bodies, suns, things like that.
I think that we should do at least a moderate amount of research on the actual target itself, just in case. If you would like to take the assists again, I would recommend we head towards looking up all the basic information we can on the actual thing that was stolen.
I can do that. All right, that's 6 right there.
Yep. Six right there, and +2 to your limit.
Is that the love secretary?
It sure is.
What?
That takes you almost no time because it's 30 minutes divided by 4, and if you somehow had browse running, it would be even less. But
yeah,
I do not.
But you definitely get quite that done rather quickly, and so you're looking for information on these burial chambers, and so essentially the gist of these things is that when a great ruler or great person died in ancient Egyptian culture, you know that they often before mummification removed all the internal organs and stored them in burial jars, like these ones pictured in the upper right corner of the pyramids of Giza image. It was
called canopic jars.
Yep, canopic jars. Yep. And so presumably, if the jars remained unopened over all of these years, there's some remnants of what was put in them originally left inside. So, you know that there's an unbroken jar like this is worth quite a bit of new yen these days. So,
is the target that we had stolen actually just a cast of one of these jars, though?
No, it is actually the jar with King Tut's organs.
Okay, so I'm going to roll magical theory knowledge to see what someone might what magical purposes someone might be able to use this for. Let's edge that.
Okay.
Oh, that's
yeah. So with your one success, you do know like that there's some ritual magics that can be used with material links like organs and stuff, but you're not sure how useful 6,000 or 7,000 year old organs would be for that. So.
We're going to ask around the room, probably focusing this question more on Cassandra and Prof and Mike. Do you guys have any way to figure out if there was any large amount of APDS in the specific caliber sold recently?
Who were you reaching out to? Or
either Cassandra or Prof or Mike. I'm just asking, like, because I don't have the out of character. Blur doesn't have the context to track down like sales of illegal goods. So,
yeah.
Okay. Friend, people tend to buy this ammo in bulk. Someone could have bought the ammo that was shot here months or years ago.
It's a good statement.
It's rather unlikely that that's going to turn up much, since I could list, but I won't, at least 5 sales within the last week of hundreds of rounds of APDS.
Right. And the other thing is, the only thing really that the rounds could give us is, unless they had spent shell casings lying around.
Which, let's face it, they don't.
And let's be honest, who even uses cased ammunition anymore?
Well, I know I don't, for that exact reason.
The most it's going to get is not going to be useful to us, because once we track down the person, if we find the gun, we can run ballistics on the recovered slugs. I'm sure Lone Star would be quite interested in that. That said, I don't see how that will help us track them down.
What recovered slugs? They fired sabot.
It's quite likely that you left APDS rounds lodged in a wall somewhere and couldn't dig them out in the amount of time that it took the other patrol to show up to the other wing. APDS buries the shit. It buries. But it's a moot point, because it doesn't help us track them down at all, because by the time we find the gun, we will have found the person, most likely.
Okay,
or they're smart.
It will be clean at the bottom of a river, but
exactly.
By the way, it doesn't help us.
So my point is that we should look for,
No. All right.
We should look for things that will actually help us.
That said, I believe that I'll be receiving a phone call here shortly, Jim.
Yep. So if you want to wait for that, you can. If you want to do anything else before that, you have enough time for another short matrix search.
Is there any... Until we have more information, we don't even know what information to search.
Okay.
I think.
Yep. So about this time, you get a call to your comlink. Proper Mike, you get a call from Brandon Rocks, and about the same time, Sovereign, you get a call from Marco. And just to kind of summarize the information that the two of those contacts provide, Brandon says indeed a team was hired within the last week or so.
A local team?
Yeah, it was a local team. They were hired, as far as he can tell, from someone in Germany to steal this information. He wasn't able to delve much further in that, but
do you know who the fixer setting this up might have been, or any of the street names of these runners?
He does know the fixer's name. It's a fixer who just goes by the name of St. Clair. And he provides a com code for that fixer.
All right.
And Marco provides the information that Marco provides the information that there indeed has been talk about an auction of some sort overseas for archaeological artifacts, but he didn't have like the money to even get past the paywall to start figuring out where that was. So
So what level of money are we talking about to get through this paywall, sir?
Oh, it's somewhere in the millions of new yen to like sign up to be part of this auction, and then you get told where it is. Type deal.
I got you. And but he does have information on an auction.
That there is an auction scheduled somewhere. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and as far as he knows, it's scheduled for Tuesday evening. Yep. And proper Mike, for your shadow community role, St. Clair is a relatively newish fixer on the scene, and he's particularly known for a giant cross tattoo on his right cheek, and he pretty much specifically only arranges overseas jobs. So jobs coming from overseas that take place in Seattle.
I see.
Yep.
And do I happen to know of any fences who might have an auction or be attending an auction on Tuesday?
How high class of fences do you have? Like, are your fence contacts?
I don't have fence contacts. I have the knowledge skill of fences. I know.
Okay, yeah. You probably could find a fence that would know about the auction if you knew kind of where it was. But you know that fences are relatively auctions for fences are pretty common. So, yep. And for the record, if St. Clair is a pre-existing character somewhere on the hub or elsewhere, it is a different St. Clair.
Okay.
So
that
all right.
just
I
was just like, what the fuck? Because this was a character that
it was an Oz character.
Yeah.
Oz had a character named St. Clair.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then I was on the run to kill St. Clair. And as far as I knew, St. Clair was dead in Uganda.
Okay. So this is a different St. Clair with a different spelling. So
it's not exactly a unique alias.
Yeah. So I saw the confusion in there, which is I was just like, yeah, no, it's a different St. Clair.
I mean, we've had two Macbeths, so I mean.
And there's a character in the Venture Brothers named Augustus St. Clair. So.
Yep. Yeah. So anyway, it's a common name apparently. But anyway, you get kind of the sense.
But we have his comlink code, and he's the one who, in theory, set up the job.
Yeah, he's the one who arranged for the local runners. So.
Yeah, Mike will just kind of drop that into the conversation. Oh yeah, by the way, it was a fixer named St. Clair that hired these runners. His comlink call would have been through DNI entirely. We might get to tracing that comlink, but I do have a comm code for this sync, and we may or may not have a pointed conversation with him should it become necessary. I do believe we might want to follow through on the investigative portion first, though. But that
fair.
pretty much seals it that these were professionals that did this job.
Yep. So what do you guys do?
So
you have approximately 20-ish minutes now until you agreed to meet Dr. Ford over at the museum.
then I think it's about time to go meet Dr. Ford and Sepia Cross.
Yep. Yeah, about 10 minutes before.
Anybody who doesn't have a low-key form of transportation, Mike will offer a ride to you.
Yep.
Same here.
Yep.
What ride is Mike taking?
So you, as you guys head over there, Mike, about 10 minutes before you guys arrive at the museum, you notice an unmarked vehicle park in essentially the fire lane of this in the front of this museum, and you see Sepia Cross get out in a suit.
All right, and probably with the trench coat and fedora in tow because he
Yep.
is the classic PI.
Yep, exactly. So he has the whole get up, and you see him talking into something in his hand. So.
I trust him. He's a hub contact for a reason.
Yep.
Mike will make his way over and tip his
So
own fedora.
then he's-
While Mike was at the safe house, he would have changed into a much more low-key suit.
Okay.
I have no doubt that he's speaking into a microphone, recording some sort of film noir style narration.
No
Yeah.
doubt. No doubt.
Yep, that's actually exactly what's going on. And so as you approach, he's just finishing this, and it's like, and it's a Friday evening, and there's nothing but the stars above, and the sun's setting off in the distance, and it's about that time that I was approached by 5 mysterious figures from down the sidewalk.
Wait, sun setting? Oh shit, there goes my 5-service Spirit of Air. That was nice while it lasted.
Tell it to go off on a remote service.
Yep. Anyway, so yeah, and so you guys approach him. He's just kind of waiting by his car for you guys to show up. Can I get a general perception roll from everyone?
General type or individual senses rolled separately?
General type, and you can roll individual senses if you really want to.
Yep. I do really want to.
Okay. Oops. I dropped out of the table.
Oh, wow.
All right. So bookworm. I'm just getting a sense of the general perception rolls. Sovereign didn't see it.
I had 0 hits on general and 2 hits on visual.
Yep. Okay. So there were a lot of rolls there. But anyway, so you guys are if you guys are like glancing around and stuff, you see that there indeed the restaurants that are kind of across the street from this museum are pretty full still, and they don't look like they're going to. The crowds are going to be dying down anytime soon, and there are a couple of people who look like lesser fortunate members of society, kind of hanging out near those restaurants to get either the leftovers from restaurant goers who bought a little more than they could eat, or grab new yen from those who are willing to tip. And did anyone get more than 5 hits? No. Okay. Cool. So yeah, that is what you currently see, and this giant museum, rather large museum, is off to the right of you. Yep. And your fly spies confirm that there is indeed a building near you.
Well, even one success is more than that, but
no, I know, but not any more than what you've already seen. So
no, but much better angles.
Yeah. There is a network of alleyways behind the restaurant areas that kind of wind their way into Tacoma. So.
All right.
Yep.
Yep.
And so, if you kind of imagine the way this is set up is you have your museum. You have your museum in that like brownish color there, and then you have like restaurants and stuff like that. And there are alleys that go between them and behind that kind of snake off into Tacoma. And you guys are like where I put this yellow circle right now. So
that is not a circle.
Well,
that looks like an arrow.
Okay.
But
well,
I think we need to fast forward into the investigation.
yes, we do. Yeah.
Yep.
So. Yep.
Did the PI show up?
Yeah, he's sitting at the.
That was the.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, he's there, and he kind of nods at you guys as you approach, and finishes up his comlink recording. And says,
Michael offers a flask like you do, and
yep.
I'm sure he takes ample opportunity to pull from the flask. And
yeah, he does. Yep. And so you guys head in?
Yep.
He works better while drinking, guys. Don't worry about it.
Don't we all?
Yep. He mutters something about that being the sign of a true professional. And you guys head up the stairway, and Dr. Ford is waiting for you guys by the museum entrance and opens the door for you.
Excellent.
All right,
Doctor. So let's start with you showing us where it was taken from, and then what we know of how they came in.
Okay. Yep. So in this building, which is more accurately kind of shaped like that with main entrance and then 2 wings on either side. He takes you over through this big archway into the museum itself, and past a now empty receptionist desk there, and past the metal detectors and so on. And he takes you over into this wing over here, which is on the right as you enter, and it you see that it is named the Hall of Mysteries. Yeah, and you kind of find yourself going through ancient times and passing stuffed versions of woolly mammoths and stuff like that. And it's going through the different eras until you get to a section that kind of takes on a sandstone-ish type color and such and design, and you find yourself walking through a passageway that has AR torches and stuff set up, and there are various artifacts from ancient Egypt in display cases as you're walking through. And you get to about the center of that wing, and there's kind of a raised platform with sarcophagus, a fully closed sarcophagus on in the center of this platform, and off to the right of it there's a pedestal with a velvet cushion that is empty. And he says, "This is the pedestal where it was sitting." And he says, as best the Lone Star people have pieced it together, from what I can tell, he thinks they got onto the roof somehow and cut through there. And you see that there's a place where the glass on the skylight has been cut through completely. And it's currently covered with just plywood boards. And we think that they rappelled down from there and grabbed the artifact.
And the guards were killed where?
He takes you a little further back, and you see a couple of the display cases are broken. And there's some blood on them, and a couple of very clear bullet holes and indents in like the flooring and walls in that area. And he says, and there's still the chalked out lines of both of their bodies, but the bodies themselves are gone.
All right. Even though I know I'm not likely to find anything useful, I'm still going to assense the area. Just look for anything that might be useful, really.
All right, yeah. With 2 successes, you notice that there is, let's see, there is a Watcher Spirit in the immediate vicinity. It's just kind of hovering above you about 10 feet. Yep.
I'm going to ask it if it was here the night of the break-in.
It tells you it was summoned this morning. Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, and so where the guards' bodies were discovered, how close is that to where they supposedly came through the skylights like ninjas?
About 15 feet away. It's definitely, and it's a clear shot from the center of this room to where the guards' bodies were.
Okay, so they came in and killed the guards because they were in the room. They didn't go and track them down. Gotcha.
Correct. Yep.
All right.
Yeah, and
Mike will look a bit expectantly at Sepia and then say, "I can tell you what I've already learned is that the people who perpetrated this were professional Shadowrunners."
He nods and point. Can you roll his connection test? Just once.
Let me go look that up.
And while you're doing that,
does he get +2 for this being an investigation?
Oh yes, for sure.
All right.
Blur, what is your where are you looking and what are you looking for?
I walked outside as soon as they said they accessed from the roof, and I started walking around the building looking for probable ascents to get to the roof. Places where one might be able to throw up a rope or just simply climb up due to the architecture of the building.
Okay. Yeah, you see. I mean, there are a couple of places where it seems like you could possibly climb up. I mean, the columns in front, while they're pretty big, you could kind of imagine someone using something like gecko grip or something to climb up. Or there are old-fashioned drain pipes as well as a fire escape on the side of the building. But that fire escape itself only is the kind that has the ladder that descends down. So it's still 2 stories up from the ground. That's kind of what you see.
After taking a round of the building, noticing, did I notice any specific scuff marks or anything like that that would look recent? Disturbed.
Yeah, with 6 successes, you do see that it seems it seems like the ground where the ladder would hit when it was fully down has there are kind of 2 indentations still on the ground there from where it hit. Yep. So proper Mike. Seppi is kind of looking around, and he's specifically focusing on the bodies right now. And he's like, "Yeah, look at this." And he points to unlit cigarette, right at the right next to where one of the bodies was, and says, "They didn't even." Like, they weren't even expecting it. They must not have even noticed them when they were like coming down.
So they were
Jeez, these sounds to me like these our perpetrators weren't quite as professional as they seem. If they just went straight for lethal gun, completely unaware guards.
Yep, and
That's not necessarily true. If they were trying to make sure to leave no witnesses.
Yeah, but they hadn't been witnessed yet, and leaving unnecessary corpses around just brings a harder crackdown on their heads.
It depends on what the Johnson asked for.
Yep, exactly. So, yeah, and he's gonna keep looking around and says, what I can't understand is how they got onto the roof.
So I just cast a Force 3 extended spatial sense spell, which means that I have a very accurate mental map of pretty much everything within 180 meters, unless it's inside a mana barrier.
Okay.
And I'm making an olfactory in detail on the room, noting, since this place has theoretically not been disturbed by anybody but investigators and the people who did it, noting the sense of any person that I pick up that is obviously not one of the other people present.
Yeah, so you definitely notice that there's a scent that is kind of very musty, and it's not like the old stuff scent, because you smell that too, but it smells like there's someone that like really loves a really strong cigar of some kind, and no, not a cigar, and they must like pretty consistently just smell like that. because it's kind of a sweet, sickly cigar smell that you smell.
Can I place the cigar scent?
Yes, you can. The cigar scent is one of a cigar from a company called Deutschland's Finest. It's their high roller cigar.
I will share this information with the team over DNI. That there was somebody present in the room who smokes this. A very Sherlock Holmes moment of, I smell cigar. That is a Deutschland high roller.
Yep.
So I've got another clue pointing to Germany.
And Blur, you're climbing something?
Yeah, Blur's going to go ahead and use his gecko gloves and get a good running start and just go up the side of the building.
Okay. Can you roll a climb check with the bonus from the gecko gloves? I believe it's a +2.
Yeah, +2 for assisted climbing. And remember, climbing is gymnastics plus strength, not
Is
gymnastics.
Blur sharing a visual feed of what he's doing?
Yeah. On DNI.
Okay.
Can I get a parkour bonus for this?
As Blur is taking his wind up, Mike will mention to the Johnson Dr. Ford, one of my compatriots is currently investigating the roof. Should an alarm go off, it might hamper the investigation. If you could let somebody know that it's one of the good guys, that would be useful.
He says, "Oh yeah," and he picks up his comlink and calls what you would guess is the remaining Lone Star security in this building. And Blur go. Yep. So you go 3 successes. I believe that is enough to go climbing up. So.
It is. It's actually you get meters per hit. I got assisted climbing upwards, so 1 meter per hit. It's 3 meters. I've gone 12. It's basically going to be extended test till I get to the roof or get to the fire escape to go up.
Okay. Yep. So that you have to go up about 2 stories. So we'll call that 14 meters total.
No, 2 stories is about 4 meters.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
more
a museum.
like
It's like
probably
5 meters.
like 6 meters.
But
Okay.
I mean, even with vaulted ceilings, keep in mind conversion of meters to feet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Yep. So I was going with so 6 meters or so.
That should get it.
Yep. So you get up there.
In 6 seconds.
Yep.
So
So yep, you just kind of do your Spider-Man thing and crawl up the wall, and you get on to the fire escape about the time that Ford is making his call. And so while he's making this call, the security guard's like, "Yep, there's the fire escape sensor," and turns off the alarm immediately when it comes on. So
with my mental map from Spatial Sense, do I'm looking for obvious most easy places to get up to the roof that are like out of the way, as well as likely escape routes.
so so in this building there are a series of access corridors that can either take you underground towards the archives and the document storage and stuff like that, or upwards to the rooftop access door.
Those underground sections, I don't suppose by any chance any of them connect to the somewhere outside?
They do not.
So yeah.
I mean, there's a sewer system, but you'd have to squeeze through pipes to do that. So, yep.
Any
Go ahead.
like outside near the museum, any sewer access points that a person might be able to fit through?
Yeah, there are a couple of manhole covers that are secured, but you like passed one as you were walking into the museum. Yep.
Well, keep in mind, with spatial sense, extended spatial sense at Force 3, it goes out to 180 meters, and with 3 hits on the spellcasting test that I got to keep, that's fairly detailed, so I might be able to notice one that isn't quite as secured as the others.
No, they are all secured. However, you do notice, you can tell that something is blocking the rooftop access door a little bit, so it's slightly open.
I'll relay that information to Blur so he can check that out.
Yep.
Funny that.
Mm-hmm. Sovereign, I haven't heard from you in a bit.
I'm just thinking. Right now, I'm gonna roll a quick couple rolls.
Dr. Ford gets a call on his comlink. And he's,
I was.
Go ahead.
Proper Mike beat me to it, but
all right. So yeah, between the two of you, like, what kind of things do you want to know from your security design?
mostly how people going in would be funneled into this place. Where are the natural cutoff points for, say, whether or not there's, like automatic gates where the natural cutoff points to cut people off, where would natural like choke points, and most importantly, where would Sovereign recognize as the best places to circumvent them?
Okay. Yeah.
And Mike's is a little bit different. Mike wants to analyze the room, and he wants to basically go backwards for what devices would they need to have disabled to come in through the way that they did through the roof, if they even came through that roof. Basically, I want to spot the pressure pads, the window sensors, cameras that might have angle on it, cross-referencing with the footage of our person on the roof, where, like, what would they need to have disabled on the roof to get through. Basically, I want to know every step they had to take to come in that direction. And why just go back out that direction?
Yep. So I'm going to answer Sovereign's questions first. The wings are set up so that they can indeed gate the main galleries off. However, they have a series of one-way doors all along those galleries, marked with exit signs, that are linked to an alarm that would set off an alarm if you push through them. But the doors themselves don't open from the outside. You have to be on the inside to open them, and that's in case of a fire and stuff like that. But it seems like most of the museum security sensors, like scanners and stuff, are focused on the front entrance. For proper Mike's question, so you're kind of looking at the devices and stuff they would have to circumvent. There's the pressure plate on the pad where the object was sitting. You can see a series of security laser emitters. So if you imagine from an old-fashioned museum heist movie, that kind of thing where they have to go through the lasers without breaking them. So you see the emitters and then the receivers. You also see from this perspective, now that the glass has been cut through, you can see that there's some sort of device connected to the glass, which you would guess is some sort of glass break alert type deal, as well as multiple cameras in this room pointing at the various different artifacts. And that is the visible security you can see. Yep. And now Blur, you see that someone has stuck a bunch of chewing gum in the locking mechanism on the roof door. And you see a significant number of cigarette butts on the ground next to it.
Almost like someone has been up here for a while before the heist actually happened.
Yeah, it looks like someone's been up there smoking cigarettes for like 6 or 7 months or so, and just throwing them on the roof when they're done.
It
Right.
almost
Kind of
like
sniffing them out.
this is what guards do.
Yeah, it's but there's a cigarette butt on the ground that I got 8 successes to take a sniff at. How old did it seem?
So the cigarette on the inside was brand new, and it seemed like it had probably been pulled out of the pack, but then dropped like when the guards were shot or something like that. So.
But they were smoking inside the museum?
No, it was not lit.
Ah.
So, yeah, it was a completely fresh, unlit cigarette.
Gotcha.
So,
Does it match the brand on the roof?
You would have to compare those two.
Well, he had a visual on it.
Okay, yeah. It does match the brand on the roof. Yep.
So these guards smoked up there.
or at least one of them did.
One of them smoked up there. One of them, left the roof access open, propped open.
Well, I mean, the one who smoked, if it's just one, was probably the same person who left that open.
Right.
Which means they would also be constantly disabling the alarm for the roof access, because every time they'd go out, they'd set off the alarm.
God damn it, Lone Star.
That also being, well, yeah.
Could you take a look at the alarm on the roof and see if the alarm on that door is even functional?
Sure. Do you want me to come up with you? I have a bit of,
Yeah, if you want to come up and actually physically inspect it, sure, I can look at it, but I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Well, yeah, give me a visual, and then I'll look at it if needs to be.
I just go ahead and walk inside the door, because I imagine I think the alarm's on the inside of the door, and then I start looking around the door. Do I see anything?
Yeah. So you're looking at the store, and you do see that there is what looks like a maglock attached to it. However, it seems like there are some wires protruding from it in ways you haven't seen maglocks have wires protrude from.
Okay, with 6 hits on my hardware test.
Yeah, you definitely identified that maglock has been tampered with, so that it will not make an alert when the door is opened.
Right. Okay.
So essentially, the security part has been disabled.
Right.
So they came to the roof, but they could have just walked through the door.
Guys, I think this door's a red herring, to be honest, because if they knew the door was open, why would they bother cutting through the glass?
Yeah, these guys are sounding less and less professional the more we find out about this.
Well, either that or just ill-informed and on a tight deadline.
Fair enough.
I mean, they disabled all the security, got around the laser emitters, but they got caught by a pressure plate. That seems very amateur to me.
Yeah.
That, or they were intending on getting caught.
Or they were intending on somebody knowing that it was stolen, which actually in the antiquities business isn't necessarily a detriment. Actually, here, let me go ahead and roll something so that I can talk about this and maybe actually... Yeah, okay. So it's not necessarily unusual in the antiquities business for you to want there to be a public investigation of an artifact being stolen, because then when you try to sell it on the black market, it is a much higher probability that is actually the real thing. Whereas if it was stolen and covered up, you couldn't verify its true identity as an artifact.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So in an odd way, yes, you don't want to get caught, but you do want somebody to know you were there. You want it to be loud enough that there is an actual investigation you can point to it when you are fencing it, to be like, hey, look, see, it was stolen. This really is the thing.
Couldn't have made a forgery this believable that fast, that sort of thing.
Right.
Right.
And so it makes sense.
Now, that could also be why Lone Star officers were killed in the taking of this artifact, because there's no way to spurn Lone Star into performing an actual investigation other than making them pay out death benefits. There is no better way. All right, so our current working theory is that they came in through the roof, were discovered by a pressure plate after murdering 2 officers on scene. How did they exit? Did they climb back up the ropes and out? If you have an alarm going off, that doesn't seem as efficient.
Well, it seems like the catwalk hit the ground with a pretty big indentation. So I feel they might have gone right back up to the roof and taken the catwalk down.
There was a catwalk down? I'm sorry, I missed that out of character.
Yeah, Blur found that the fire escape ladder had been pushed down recently, and there were indentations where it hit the grounds when it slid down.
All right, so then it does sound like they probably went back out that direction. Were there businesses across the alleyway, or across at the mouth of the alleyway that may have a camera that has a view down that alley?
Yeah, there is a business right there. There are actually 2 office buildings directly on either side of this museum here, like to the left or right from the front. And so there's about a 20-story office building off to the right.
And what's
and more than likely cameras at some point around that, because yeah.
All right. And what sort of office building is this? It's not like an Ares regional headquarters or something.
No. One is a small, essentially accounting office for the corporation Manodyne. It's a small. It's a smaller AA corp. And that's
a shame, because that's extra national.
Yep. And
if it's AA, it's territorial.
Yep. And on the other side is kind of one of those mixed office building type deals, where different businesses rent out different floors. So.
All right. And that probably has some security as well.
Yeah.
Mike will turn to Dr. Ford and ask him, so what is your working relationship with your neighbors? Would they be willing to share footage of that night that may have an angle on this alleyway without too much red tape? Or are you just...
Or are we going to have to cut through some red tape?
Their workers do come to the museum pretty frequently during their breaks and stuff, and they actually account for a good portion of our midday traffic. I mean, I can give you a letter of authorization or something, and you can go and try and talk to them. Can't hurt, right?
That might end up being useful. And then over D9, Blur, since you're up there, could you go ahead and take a look down that alley and see if you can spot who might have cameras on it, whom we should speak to?
Bing.
Yep. So yeah, see, you take a look, and you see that the Manadine building does have cameras pointed into that alley. There are 2 of them.
I've got a PI license, so I can take it over and show that license to them if necessary.
I'll go ahead and tag in ARO all those cameras that I see.
Yeah, and Ford quickly writes up a small electronic document, essentially authorizing you as museum personnel to investigate this matter on his behalf.
I can go with you as well. I am a registered private investigator.
Yep.
All right. Jeez, I just accidentally turned the volume way up on my headset.
I've done that before. Yeah, so who's Cassandra? I haven't heard from you in a bit. Cassandra?
Are you alive?
Are you muted?
I am here.
Okay.
Skype swapped my mute and non-mute.
Yep. So yeah. So what are you doing right now?
Cassandra has been wandering the area, looking at the exhibit, taking note of any matrix devices that she sees.
All right.
If you could investigate the host and any logs that it may have, that may prove useful.
Yep.
But out of character, since you're getting legal access, there's not a whole lot of actual hacking roles involved in that. It's
Hey,
there
isn't.
I need access to the host to take a look around, and getting legal access to a host. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yep.
And as everybody starts splitting off, especially when we get somebody climbing upstairs, Cassandra will then turn to Dr. Ford. So, do you think I can get access to the host now?
He says, yeah, let me take you to my security office. And he leads you towards that central part of the building again. Yep.
All right. She kind of skips following behind him.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and he takes you there and takes you to a pretty large, it's the sixth world equivalent of a server room. And multiple ports and stuff where you can plug in, should you desire to. You can all, but he also just offers for you to. He offers you 2 marks on the host legally.
Cassandra will take those.
Yep.
And to continue her charade that she does, she also plugs her data jack in.
Okay. All right. Yep.
To the one port that for some reason is not blinking.
Yep. Yeah. So you plug it. You plug in, and you do your technomancer crap, and I assume you enter the host.
Yes, she will enter the host.
Yep. So yeah. So this host looks pretty much like the museum itself, but kind of imagine Night at the Museum style.
Yes.
So all the different exhibits have they're like they have icons in this host that like move around and interact with each other a little bit. And I'm just going to give it to you. There is patrol lights running, and it looks like a security guard walking through, shining his flashlights on different icons in the host.
All right. Cassandra's going to find the nearest dinosaur skeleton and see if she can ride it.
Okay.
And then she will start.
You try and crawl up on it, but then fall through it when you realize it's not a physical object, and at least the VR version of a physical object. So
she kind of saddens, and then she gets back to work.
Okay. Yep. So where are you looking for in this house?
She's gonna look for the records from that night, the camera feeds, all that stuff.
Do a matrix search.
Security logs.
Yep.
Matrix search. All right.
It's really too bad you're not a techno with the right investigative complex forms.
That's mainly because she is not even submerged yet.
No, I know. I'm just saying, though, like, having FAQ right now, FAQ some shit, that would be brilliant. But no.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's enough. So yeah, you find the camera footage, and you find the security logs, and do you want to watch the footage now?
Yeah, she will watch the footage.
Okay, can you roll me a visual perception limited to 3?
Yep.
Maybe we all do that since I specifically asked for them to patch the video out.
Yep, you all can do that.
Cassandra sees nothing.
Sorry, what are we rolling?
Visual perception limited to 3. All right, good. One of you did it. So I will describe this camera footage to you. So you guys get this camera footage from Cassandra that pops up, and it's that room that you were all investigating in, and at about 11 p.m. 2 nights ago, you see what you can barely make out as 4 figures. It's pretty dark and grainy footage, but 4 figures descend down some sort of rope extended from what looks like a gun of some sort, and they're slowly descending down when 2 security guards walk in, and they're talking, and it looks like one is pulling a pack of cigarettes from his pocket. You see a small white and blue box, and you see the figures that are descending on this rope freeze for a second, and two of the 4 pull out pistols and aim them and start shooting, and before either security guard even is able to draw his gun, they're both dead. And the two figures descending grab the artifact. It sets off the alarm. The pressure pad sets off the alarm, and it looks like they press a button on the guns and start ascending quickly. And that's when they disappear from those cameras. But there's also a roof camera which catches the act earlier of them cutting through the glass. And before that, to get onto the roof, they came through the unlocked rooftop door. But they left by way of the fire escape into that alley.
Wait.
What?
They came up through the unlocked door? So they started out already inside the museum.
Yes.
Okay, so follow the security footage back. Follow them walking backwards. Where did they come in from?
So the first place they appear before that is a bathroom on the second floor of this museum.
I think it's time to go take a look at the bathroom. Mike will turn around before he exits the museum. Like, okay, I guess it's time to take a look at a bathroom.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, you come into this bathroom, and yeah, Cassandra, you're pretty shaken up from that.
Yeah.
You're just like that. Watching someone die is never easy for anyone in the shadows, but like it's shaking you, not quite to your core, but pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
And so Proper Mike, you're going up to this bathroom.
After he tells Cassandra to pull it together.
Yep. Yeah, so you head up to this bathroom. It's the bathroom the four of them came out of was the men's room. The bathroom itself is made to look like it's something from ancient Greece.
Do I smell the cigar smoke with 5 successes on olfactory?
Yes, you do.
All right.
Yep. And and there are 4 stalls in this bathroom as well as a trash can with a lid and one of those things you have to like push in to access the trash can. And there's a sink and the usual bathroom amenities.
All right. So trace the footage back on the bathroom entrance and see when these people entered.
Okay.
Here's a visual perception in detail going around the room, looking for here and yeah.
Okay.
Just looking for maybe the hidden entrances. Did they drill a hole in the wall behind one of the toilets or something really stupid?
Okay, you don't find that.
I'm pretty sure I would have noticed that with when I cast Spatial Sense anyway.
Well, that's true.
Yep, he would have noticed that, but so you're looking around this bathroom, and what you do find is 4 sets of civilian clothes in the trash can still.
All right.
Nobody's taken out the trash in 2 days.
So I'm using.
The museum's been shut down essentially since the.
I can keep all 6 of those hits, and I'm going to memorize the sense. Well, not memorize them. I'm saving them with the olfactory booster.
Okay. Yeah.
Did anyone else just get disconnected from Roll20?
No.
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 Okay, it's just me.
Nope.
And it seems to have cleared up then. Now, carry on.
Okay. Yep. So yeah, you saved the sense of these 4 individuals, Proper Mike.
All right. And one of them, I assume, smells like cigar smoke.
Say that again.
One of them, I assume, smells like the cigar smoke.
Yes. It's a set of male clothes, and it seems like it's a size XL.
Okay. I would be able to get basic general feelings for the metatypes of the 4 people involved. Were there any that are super bulky, like they might have been an orc? Were there any that were super thin, like they may have been an elf? Were there any short, like a dwarf, gigantic, like a troll, etc.?
Yep, it seems like this party was made up of 2 elves, a human, and an orc.
All right.
And the 2 elves appear to have been female.
So I will describe the clothing of the people you were looking for on the footage that will have gone into this bathroom.
Oh yeah, so you're looking for them as they go in. Yeah,
right. But now
so
you know what they were wearing when they went in. That makes it much easier.
Yeah.
And which one is the one that smells of cigar smoke?
It is the orc.
All right.
Yep, which is also the largest clothing. Yeah, so you identified that they went into the bathroom at about 3 p.m. that day.
And nobody checks the bathrooms when they shut down? That is the laziest fucking security in the world. Like, that's like security 101. When you lock down the building, you check the bathrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Also part of
S
Security
is amazing.
101. Also part of Security 101. Do not intentionally disable one of the doors to the outside so that you can get take smoke breaks.
Yeah, unfortunately, that
security.
happens quite a bit.
Yeah, but working Security 101 is do not do more work than you absolutely have to.
Well, obviously
So
it got
try
them dead,
not to die
so
before.
Right. They did have to do this work because obviously it got them dead. So I would argue that this wasn't more work than they needed to do. It cost them their lives.
Yep.
Okay. Do you relay the fact that there's 4 of them, 2 elves, orc, and a human?
Yep.
That's slightly problematic, as are not sure what the capabilities that they have are besides just light pistols, but I imagine they're going to be more than capable of killing just 2 guys. Basically, I think their threat level just went high.
I'm not particularly worried about this team in specific, since at this point, 48 hours later, when there is an auction on hand, although we do not know where, it is unlikely that this team has any further involvement. That said, they may be the weakest link to track down to find out who the actual Johnson was. We do know the fixer was named St. Clair. And we do have his comm code, so we can probably track him down, and as I said, if needed, have a pointed conversation.
That's a fair point. We probably won't have to deal with that team unless they are guarding the goods all the way to the auction.
Which is unlikely. When was the last time you were hired to steal art and then guard it until it was auctioned? I can tell you I've not heard of such a thing. Mike will say the word heard with rather weight. Happening in my experience.
It's simple compartmentalization is really what it is.
Right.
You keep the right hand from the left hand.
Right. The team that recovers an object passes it off, and they don't know anything more about it. The most we would get out of them is who they handed it off to. But we are much more likely to find that information from the fixer who organized the job.
Fair. I guess we have a new lead to chase down at the moment then.
Although with the camera footage here, I think that perhaps next door might be a moot point at the moment, but you never know. We might still circle back to that.
Can we check the external cameras to see if they left in any kind of vehicle immediately surrounding the museum?
And also, if we can look through the camera footage and try to get a decent picture of a decent image of the face of at least one of these people, I could have a spirit possibly find them.
GM, is that possible to get their face off the security footage?
Uh, whoever's going to do that, roll me edge.
I believe our Decker is
Yes.
in the host.
And we all have access to this footage.
Yeah, I just
You
wanted
do
to
not
see.
let me roll it.
Damn it.
Yeah, so they were pretty intelligent. They must have had some knowledge of where the cameras were ahead of time, because they managed to avoid looking in the cameras face on the whole time. However, from various like side images, you do get a general sense of what each of their faces look like.
When you enter this museum, do they run a sin check when you purchase tickets?
Yes, they do.
All right, then can we track the footage back to when they purchased tickets
Yes, you can.
and make note of the person who sold them these tickets?
Yes, you can. If you, Dr. Ford identifies that receptionist as Maria.
All right. Not that we necessarily need to go down that route right now, but at least we know that this Maria might have a lead. As I said, I don't think this team is probably... I believe they have probably served their purpose and are enjoying their payday.
We need to find who the link they lead to.
Yeah.
Right, but I believe that, as I said, we skip to their fixer because their fixer wouldn't have told them more than he needed to tell them. That's how they fucking operate.
Fixer would have
how
had
do
a
we
drop-off point, though.
That's true. And if the fixer turns out to be a dead lead, we can totally track these runners down. But when was the last time that your fixer didn't know your drop-off point so that he knew he was getting paid? I can tell you the answer is much less than you think.
Yep. So yeah, so what are you guys going to do? I've heard multiple different ideas of what to do, but
So I guess we need to find this St. Clair fellow then.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Blur's gonna go ahead and get off the roof. He's gonna walk down the staircase now, knowing that the roof door is disabled, and he's gonna get in his truck and basically tell the rest of the team, "I'm gonna go gear up."
Okay.
I mean, I'm still on DNI with him, so.
Yep.
I believe that we might need to trace down a phone.
All right.
Since I got it from a shadow contact, likely it's still a working phone number because fixers need to stay in contact with info brokers and other fixers and things.
Yes. It is a working phone number. So how are you going to trace this phone?
We have a
Decker.
Decker.
Yep.
Yeah. Cassandra will leave the host.
Okay.
Get the com code, and that would be a trace icon.
Right, but you need a number of marks to do that action.
You need
Two marks, I believe.
Yep, 2 marks.
Oh, yep, 2 marks.
And you probably want to know what rating of device you're going up against before you attempt this.
Yep, so she'll use that com code to do a matrix perception for it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that.
Don't forget your +2 for being a techno.
Yep.
I only say that because it only mentions it once in the book, and so many people forget that.
Uh-huh. I never forgot it when I was playing a Technomancer.
It's right there on my cheat sheet.
Yep. Yeah, I need to reprint my cheat sheets. They're like falling apart from the amount of times I've had to reference them. Yeah.
While you do this Matrix stuff, I need to step away to take care of something in real life. I will be back shortly.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, so with 2 successes on your matrix perception, you do not find the icon of that comlink. Do you want to extend that?
Yes, I will.
Okay. All right, with 5 successes, that is more than enough. You find this comlink.
All right.
At least you find the icon of this comlink in the matrix. And you have 5 questions about it.
First off, what rating is it?
It is a rating 5 comlink.
Rating 5 comlink. All right. Comlink. It's not running silent, is it?
It is running silent.
All right. Running silent, rating 5. Cool.
Okay. You have 3 more questions.
Yep. I guess this will be back to back. Is it slave to anything? And
It
is there
not?
all right? Is there anything slave to it then?
No.
All right. That's 4. Is it an icon or a persona right now?
It is a part of a persona. Yep.
All right. So it's actively being used.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
That's fine.
Yep. So what are you gonna do?
I will conjure up a sprite first, actually, and then I will hack it.
All right.
Because techno bullshit.
What? Declare force for your sprite.
It will be a
level.
Yeah, a level 5 crack sprite.
All right. Okay. Go ahead and roll that. All right. Are you happy with that roll?
Yes, I will stick with 3.
You do not successfully summon this crack
Yeah,
sprite.
let me get my drain, and then she will try again.
Yep. Resist 6 fate? Or, yeah. No, 3, right?
6 is only if he's trying to bind it, or
Yeah.
sorry, register
Yeah.
it.
Yep, so it's 3 fade. Yep. I guess it works the same as the spirit rolls, just in the matrix. That would make sense. Yep,
And that will
you resist all the fade.
Yep, let's try my sprite again.
Okay.
I'll stick with 4.
You get 4.
All right.
You still have to resist 2 fade, though.
Yep. I'm still good.
Yep. All right.
All
So
right.
now what are you gonna do?
Yep. The first task for it will be to assist me in hacking this comlink.
All right.
I hack on the fly.
All right, cool. Go ahead. I'm going to let you roll for your sprite. So.
All right. All right, that's 3.
Yep. So take 3 extra dice, assuming you have 3 in hacking, and add 1 to your
Yes, I
limit.
do. 1. So that's 14. All right.
All right.
She will only be keeping. It's a sleaze action, so she only keeps 5 of those. Yeah, 5.
All right. You get a mark.
All right. Same thing. Woo.
All right.
Once again, she only keeps 5.
All right. Yep. Again, you get a mark, so you have 2 marks. What does your mark look like, by the way?
Cassandra's mark is it's a book. No. It looks like the stamps a librarian would use to say that this book belongs to the library.
Okay.
Except it says property of Cassandra.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah. So you're gonna do Trace Icon now?
Yes. Trace icon, which is a legal action because it's data processing.
Okay.
And I will keep all 5 of those. So I resisted with will and sleaze.
Yep. You do find the physical location. It is currently in downtown Seattle.
All right. Cassandra will make an arrow of that on a map and forward the map to the team.
Yep. It's actually relatively close to the Seattle U campus. So.
And then at that point, she will wake up from.
Just keep an eye on it for a little bit and make sure it's not moving.
Yep. How long do you want to watch this icon for?
She will watch it for 15 minutes, and then she will reboot her brain.
All right.
Is it within a 15-minute drive?
It is not. It is in about a half an hour drive.
But Blur already left.
Yep, but Blur did already leave.
And his house is relatively close to downtown. He's in Kirkland.
Yeah, but she's kind of doing this like as you were leaving because that whole Matrix section took like 30 seconds at most.
Yeah.
Yep. So.
Matrix is wonderful like that and weird.
Yep.
So it was near the Seattle U campus?
Yes. Exactly. It's about a mile away from there. So.
Okay. You don't mean the one in the center of downtown because that's University of Washington.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So it's off near the edge. So. Yep.
Time to take a drive.
Yep, indeed. And I think this is a good point for those of you that have not gotten a chance to take a break. I need to personally take a 5-minute break, and then we'll pick up at 11:05. Would that be okay with everyone?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that's good. I need to go let my dog out.
Yeah, and to our listeners out there, if you have any questions or anything, go ahead and throw them in the chat. And when we'll come back, I'll we'll try and answer a couple if you have any. So, all right.
Yep.
Thank you, guys. We'll be back.
Yep. I'm going to use this time to do a write-up of Ragnar that will be his notoriety.
All right. Well, enjoy. All right. We'll be back at 5 past the hour. Okay, I am back.
All right.
I never left.
Okay.
God, every time I look
Never
over
left.
Ragnar's qualities, I wonder how he has lasted on the hub as long as he has.
Possibly GM's not enforcing them enough.
They've enforced it pretty good. He's gotten pulled over enough times for different things.
Hi, I'm back.
It's also partly luck that he has not actually gone berserk.
Oh,
I mean-
he has.
He has Mentor Spirit Shark, which means if he gets hurt, he can go
Oh.
berserk.
Okay, so it's like Bear. I was gonna say.
Yeah. So it's
Except Bear is if you or any of your friends are hurt, you go berserk.
yeah. Shark is specifically if you take physical damage
Okay.
or something along those lines. I have to read it again. I don't know off the top of my. But so he's got the berserk issue. He lights up like crazy on the astral beacon. He is distinctive style troll. Well, troll Viking, but I mean, just him. And then his bad rep really should have gotten him killed way sooner than he really should have gotten him killed already. Because his bad rep is supposed Winter Night ties.
Mhm.
Where is present?
Let's see.
Who else played back in the days of 1E? Or played 1E?
I did not. I didn't discover Shadowrun until 4E.
Someone here did. I was going to be like,
I'm sorry, I said what?
someone here played first edition besides me. I forget who it was.
It was me.
Mm-hmm.
proper.
I was gonna say I remember the and kind of miss the old wound system. You know, the old severe, heavy, moderate system, and like the threshold that you had to reach. And that makes up for some fun as hell tanking.
Oh man, I don't even want to think about that.
It was variable thresholds though. Like if you were rolling d6s, you weren't always trying to shoot for a 5 or a 6. Sometimes the threshold was like a 3.
Yeah. All right.
And sometimes it's like an 8, but you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
But all your dice exploded then.
So who's back? I've heard Proper Mike. I've heard Sovereign, I think.
Sandra's here.
Sandra's here. Blur, are you here?
Yeah. We were
Oh, yeah,
talking
okay,
about
that's your voice, yeah. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to put all the voices together still. And Bookworm, I think I heard you. Yeah, you're back.
Hi.
All right, welcome back to our listeners. Looking through the Twitch, it doesn't look like we got any questions, so we'll just jump right back in. If you just joined us, the group is tracking down a missed artifact, a stolen artifact from the Museum of Archaeology, and has traced the fixer to his physical location that hired the original team that stole the object. So, canopic jar. There we go. And they were heading over there now, which is where I believe we left it. So.
Well, heading there roundabouts. I'm stopping at home first.
Yep.
And Mike is also swinging by a safe house to pick up his toolkits. And if you want to go look at his sheet, GM, you'll see what toolkit I probably mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have that open right now, so. Okay. Is anyone else picking stuff up on the way, or?
I'll tell you what I'm not taking. I'm not taking the machine gun.
Okay. That's probably good, seeing as you're going to the edge of downtown, which is still higher security zone than Tacoma.
You know what?
No machine gun, no explosives. No.
Yeah, I don't plan on taking rocket launchers with me into downtown.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop by my place to pick up some of my B&E gear. I'm gonna pick up a lockpick set.
I would totally just loan you B&E gear. I have it in the smuggling compartment.
I've got my goodie bag in my car, so I'm good to go.
Yeah. Basically, just her B&E gear, and let's actually have some lethal ammo on hand in the case I need it. So I'm gonna take a Cold Agent Special, which is gonna be loaded with subsonic ammo.
I do believe, though, we should attempt to just have a conversation with this man before we resort to.
Of course.
Actually, if we have to resort to coercion, there's a trick I've got ready that I've been wanting to play for a while.
I have a trick as well, but I'd only tell you about it OOC unless it comes up in character, because I'm still the only character on the hub with a toolkit enhanced interrogation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, what I've got planned is inject him with a syringe containing simply saline, and tell him that it's just something horrible, and we'll give him the antidote if he helps.
It's beautiful.
All All right. So I'm kind of waiting for you guys. What are you guys gonna do?
I've done that trick before. It usually works pretty well, but yeah, I plan on walking into. I'm guessing if he's a fixer, he holds court in some sort of bar. We have the icon traced to somewhere.
Yep.
If we're lucky, though, it's a house that we traced it to. It's unlikely, but it's possible. But I plan on walking in there and having a conversation with a gentleman named St. Clair.
All right. Yep. So you guys head there. It takes you about half an hour. Cassandra, you only traced it for 15 minutes and then dropped out, right?
Yep.
All right. So
When we are outside, if it's not too much trouble for you to do it again, to double check that he's here before we go inside might be useful.
It leads you to a small restaurant. More like a cafe. Kind of off of one of the side streets.
When I did previously have my 4 successes on the Shadow Community to know him, do I know what he looks like?
Yeah, we'll say you know what he looks like. Yep, that makes sense for 4 successes. Yep. He's a human of what looks like Irish descent of some type or another, and he has a very distinctive tattoo on his right cheek of a cross.
All right.
That's kind of what you know from your Shadow Community knowledge about his appearance.
All right, and then
yeah, this cafe you're standing in front of is open. There are a couple of people in nicer clothes sitting outside eating their meals. One is eating some sort of pesto. Another is eating their special of the day, which is a squid ink pasta.
with 4 hits on Shadow Community about the cafe, are they known to rent out private rooms?
It's not like advertised as, hey, Shadowrunners, we have rooms, but they do they do have small banquet facilities for groups of 4 or larger that can be rented out.
So I'm guessing that they have also a AR menu, as any self-respecting cafe does, that has the information on these banquets. Is one of them currently locked out as being occupied and unavailable for renting?
Yes. It's room 3A.
All right. When I walk inside, I will. I assume they have like bar stools near the counter where individuals can order something of their own.
Yep. They have 2 different bars in here. One's an alcohol bar, and another is an espresso bar.
I will totally sit down at the espresso bar and order an espresso while I matrix perception that room.
Yep.
People don't sit.
I just want to see if there's a shit ton of icons in that room, guys.
Yep.
Because if it's only rented out to people with 4 or more people in their party, the likelihood is that he is not alone at the moment.
Yep. If you pay attention as they're making your drink, you notice that they use real milk instead of soy milk.
Oh man, I am
good.
totally
I'm not actually allergic to soy or anything. I'm just a snob.
Yep. And with your matrix perception, you see that there are quite a few personas and icons in this in your vicinity.
I'm specifically looking in the direction of the room.
Yeah, you see that there's currently only 1 persona in there.
All right. Well,
Oh, wait. Detect life. Okay, so this is going to be there's going to be a lot of background noise, but if I sift through it,
Yep.
in that room, how many living things are in there?
There are 58 living things in that room.
in that room,
The
Yes.
private room?
The private room.
of what size are the
Okay.
living-
I will let you get ask additional clarifying questions. should
Yeah,
you
I
desire.
got 3 hits on it, so that gives me information is detailed. It's major and minor details with some minor details obscured or missing. So the example it gives for that: the 3 individuals listed above are armed and their weapons are out. The troll is leading.
Okay. So with that clarification, you recognize that 56 of those life forms are animals and insects of one sort or another, and there's only one metahuman in that room.
Excellent. And assuming you relay that information, Mike will simply walk up.
Yes. Yeah.
And he is currently fiddling with an object in his hands, with both of his hands.
All right. With that, Mike will walk up. He will first hand off a directional jammer to the person who came with him,
Bookworm.
which are nice little handheld things.
Yep.
About the size of a comlink. And say, when I go in there, please direct that at the room.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right.
Okay.
And can anyone outside? Can I get perception roll, a visual perception roll?
Outside the building or outside the...
Outside the building.
All right, that would be...
So that is everyone except for, I think, proper Mike.
I think Book is inside too.
Yeah.
I think
you
Sovereign
can look
also went inside.
Yeah. Okay, yes.
I think Cassandra's
only
the only
two
one
of us are
outside still.
No, Blur specifically stated in text that he's waiting at the door outside with a cloak over himself.
Yep. So, Blur. Yeah,
By the
so
way,
Blur,
the perception rolls have
Cassandra
been
sees
insanely
something.
sorry, Blur, I couldn't hear you. What did you say?
high. I said, and these perception rolls tonight have been insanely high. The moment I'm going to shoot something, I'm going to roll like 0 hits.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so with your visual perception roll, you notice, you notice, you've kind of had this feeling for the last little bit that you've been being watched, and throughout your your specific journey from the museum to here, you've thought you've seen someone watching you multiple times, and this time you actually catch someone who is kind of staring at you, but when you look up at them, they dart out of sight down another alley.
Do I have time to use my imaging devices to take a snapshot of it?
I mean, yeah, you can go ahead and try, but it's pretty much like you're starting to look up, you see them, and they're gone. So roll me reaction plus intuition if you want.
Do you have
try
cyber
and-
eyes?
I have.
Actually, if you have cyber eyes or a camera that would always be rolling, you would capture them.
The answer to that is I don't specifically have cyber eyes. I have like every cyber implant but actual eyes.
Yeah, so you probably aren't fast enough to catch them, but you can roll reaction plus intuition if you want to try and grab a snapshot really quickly. It's okay. And while we're doing that, Proper Mike, what are you doing? Okay, yeah. Yeah,
What?
you
That's
like,
not even.
what's
How
your
does that
physical limit?
No,
He
there's
typed
something wrong
less
here.
than 5.
I typed. There's something
oh.
wrong there. There's only one hit. There's only one hit. 2 hits.
2
There are
hits.
two.
hits.
Okay, yeah, no, all right.
Yeah, you
yeah.
less than 5, not greater than.
Yeah, I typed the wrong.
Okay, I was going to
what,
say.
What Proper Mike is doing is he's walking up to the door in his suit and knocking on the door, and then trying the handle to see if it's open.
All right, yeah, it is.
Do you want me to wait outside the room or go in with you?
No, wait out here. And so Mike said over DNI, wait out here. If I tell you to over DNI, please flip that device to the on and direct it at the room.
All right.
But I don't need you to just start jamming him immediately. So Mike is going to walk into the room, assuming it's unlocked.
All right. It is unlocked. You walk in, and St. Clair's sitting there. He's fiddling with his comlink, and he says,
Hello, Mr. St. Clair.
You
Hello,
were
Mr. St.
expected
Clair.
for like 15 more minutes. Oh, who the dreck are you?
And Mike will softly close the door behind him and take a seat across the table from him. Mr. St. Clair, I'm pretty sure if I told you who I was, you would most likely immediately recognize me, given your connections to a community that we both have ties to. That said, I'm not here to be employed by you. I am here for simple information, and if I get that information, I can stand up, I can walk out of here, and maybe we can meet again under more amenable terms. If I don't get that information, let me assure you that I'm not the kind of person that you're going to want to tussle with, even given your own connections, since I am fairly sure of it at this point that mine dwarf yours. You recently hired a team to acquire an object. I don't care about your team. I don't care about anything but that object. Should you be willing to disclose to me in a private setting which no one else need know about, ever, where that object flew off to in the middle of the night, we can consider this conversation complete. If you do not wish to give that to me willingly, we may even be able to compensate you for your trouble to help ensure that all of the silences are kept silent.
He says, you certainly talk the talk. You certainly seem like someone that I would generally want to have in my employ. That being said, I certainly am not going to tell you what you're asking, because I don't have a death wish.
I assure you, it will, if you give me this information willingly, never get back to anyone that you were the reason, the person whom I got this information from. I can assure you that, and with that, Mike will share over DNI a link to another fixer who can verify who he is. I am sure, as you know from my reputation that you are now reading, that I am not one to be tussled with. And I don't wish for this to get back to you or to me in any sort of dark light. I have given you this one point of concession so that you know who you are dealing with and how trustworthy I am. Should you use this information in bad faith, of course, well, I found you once. I can find you again.
He laughs and says, "Yeah, well, and it's not like me to screw my team in the middle of a job. So
I'm not asking you to screw your team. I'm not asking to know where this object is going. Let's say that I have an interested party who would be interested in acquiring this, and we need to know where to go in order to acquire it. I'm under the impression that it is going to be auctioned on Tuesday.
You know, I really can't talk about this. Active interest, you know.
Over DNI, Mike will at this point tell Bookworm that she needs to activate that jammer. Well,
I will activate the jammer.
I am quite afraid.
He just told us something very important.
Yes, he did. I'm quite afraid that you have made this much more difficult on yourself than it would have been otherwise.
With that, he is going to try and draw his gun.
All right, I will attempt a quick draw myself.
All right, roll. Let's just roll initiative. Is that good? Cool with you?
All right, we'll roll initiative. All right. In that case, I don't even need to quick draw if I'm going first. I will first simple action draw a gun, and second draw a taser, and second simple action taser him.
Okay.
I can keep all 9 of them.
What the heck? The accuracy is 9?
I have a personalized grip and smart gun installed on a Tiffany Defiance laser.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So you take out your taser and get 7 net hits.
All right. So he is the proud owner of 14 stun at -5. Electrical.
Yep. That's what I figured.
Remind me again, how much career karma does Mike have?
He is at 249 career karma.
Yeah, so this guy, he just you just fried him with this taser like Greedo. He just his head just plops forward on the table.
The reason I use the taser is because it is nice and quiet.
Yep.
And with that, I will say over DNI, Miss Bookworm, do you by chance have something to make it much more easy to take him out of here undetected?
Yep.
I hate to point this out, but you told us to activate a jammer.
Yes,
Yeah,
but the thing
jammer
about
can't exclude.
On wireless? Okay,
Right.
the jammer's on wireless. Okay.
right.
And
I'm assuming we're slave to a Decker since we have a Decker, or we're slave to something. No, we're slave to Mike's device that has, Mike's jammer's slave to his. But yeah.
and,
Cassandra offered no slaving of devices.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yep, and you notice that this guy is bleeding from the ears and the nose and the eyes.
Yep. He's gonna be out for a while.
Yep.
He can't be bleeding that much. It's stun damage. It did roll over, but
Yep.
it rolls over at half the amount. So
Yeah.
Yep,
I'm
I know.
gonna, go in there and just sense him real quick.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, that's enough for general diagnosis of any maladies the subject suffers.
and
Yes, it looks like he's been electrocuted pretty badly. He is still alive.
So to be clear, GM, when I gave him the contact information for a fixer, it would have been to my fixer, Morty, And it was simply to verify that I am somebody worth listening to. It wasn't hey, my name's Proper Mike. I'm gonna fuck you now.
No, I definitely didn't think that you were just like, hey, and here are all my safe houses, and this is how you can reach me. Yeah,
I mean, there was a reason why I never once introduced myself to him by name.
Yep. Yeah, no, I was waiting for this to happen, so yeah, I expected it. So.
And remember how I said that I was having, under PM, my AmeriCar pull around to the back entrance? I'm assuming there's a back entrance off the hallway where the private rooms are, because there always is. Fire alarm.
Yeah, there totally is.
Fire alarms be damned. We're going to carry a...
No, he's going to float invisibly above our heads as we walk out casually.
Oh, perfectly. Perfect then.
That works.
Is there an alarm on the back door? Because I will totally spend the one combat turn to disable that alarm with my lock.
There is an alarm on the back door.
I will locksmith the shit out of that to make sure that the magnets stay magnetized to each other.
Yep. You successfully do that. So.
And then we will load him into a smuggling compartment in an AmeriCar, and I will call Peter Delagrange and arrange for a private safe house.
Okay.
Hold on just a moment, and I will give you the description because it's quite amusing.
Yep. I'm going to switch the focus over to Blur again for a little bit. Blur, you've just seen this fellow who's followed you from the museum, and like you'd had the sense that he was following you from the museum, and then you finally saw and like caught him in the act of staring at you. What are you going to do?
I did put some things up in the message above, but I'm basically going to attach my assault rifle to the gyro mount and have stick and shock loaded in the chamber. My overall goal at the moment is to protect my team. I am, in my mind, I am hired as muscle for the team, so I am not going to leave my team in a vulnerable position where I am chasing down someone else.
Okay. Yep, sounds good. That's what I want to know. Cassandra, are you doing anything?
Cassandra is reading her new book, and because she didn't notice the person who had been following anybody.
Yep.
I did message it over DNI.
Yep. All right. And so those of you that weren't like carrying this body or following it floating through, are you just gonna hang out at the cafe, or are you going to?
So Sovereign is gonna stop by the espresso bar. She is going to have a coffee, and then she is going to casually stroll up and call up a cab.
All right, excellent.
Like nothing happened.
So the Johnny Cab contact or just a regular contact?
Johnny Cab.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. No problem.
So the rooms Pierre will provide are described as such. The rooms will contain only the barest of essentials: floor drain, security light, a few mounts in the walls for hooks and chains, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Those are the essentials, all right.
Yep.
And when we get to said safe house, Mike will obviously ensure that there is a white noise generator running, a rating 6 area jammer covering the room itself, with a directional jammer on top of that pointed at the individual. If he can make it through, 2 directional jammers pointed at him. If anything he has can make it through 18 noise, I will be rather impressed.
And we'd be fucked anyway, regardless of if it is something like that.
And it has to be a rigger with an RCC.
And I will also, because I am as paranoid as fuck, have a head jammer connected to him. So he has no cyberware, for all intents and purposes. And then we will chain him to the wall, and Mike will calmly take out a tool pack and lay it out on a table where when he comes to, he can take a look at it. and he will await the gentleman to wake up. Oh wait, no. I'll throw a stim patch on him and wake him up.
He kind of sputters. He's like, what? What? Oh my God! Why does my head hurt?
Your head hurts and your everything will hurt. I did tell you that the easy way was to simply give me the information.
Oh, Drek, not this again.
Oh, you only know the very beginnings. So, at this point, I'm not only going to need to know where the item is going, but also who your team was, who hired you, when, for how much, and where the delivery location was.
So are you trying to intimidate him right now? Because I think you should roll an intimidation.
Yes, I have not quite all of this set up yet. And with that, Mike unbuckles the toolkit that's laid out in a leather pouch in front of him, and then rolls it open, and revealed before this fine gentleman, who is up on chains, is all sorts of implements that, while they probably have mundane uses, gathered together in a toolkit such as this, have only one purpose. At the very end, the very last thing that unrolls, as he unrolls this leather pouch, is a bar of thermite. And Mike looks at the guy and says, "So, we can get down to the nitty-gritty, or you recognizing the situation that you are now currently in can simply come clean. It's up to you. I have all night."
Okay. Roll intimidation at +4.
All right.
+5.
+6.
You're not even... Are you there?
Am I?
I don't know.
Yeah, like anybody who wasn't being tailed is totally here.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Are you sure we cannot go to the social modifiers table?
We can totally go to that if you want, but I gave you the +4 as a bonus already.
Right. I'm pretty sure, though, I have stacked up more than +4.
Oh,
We
okay.
outnumber him with one thing, so that's +2.
Right. So, at the moment, I would argue that while what I'm doing may be harmful to the NPC, it's probably also advantageous, given his current situation. I have, in fact, caused physical pain. He is
Wielding
beset from orifices.
Okay, so what is that?
You're wielding weapons.
We outnumber him. We outnumber him. I am wielding quite obvious weapons. So I'm counting a total of +7.
Holy cow. Okay. Go ahead and roll your +7 plus the +2 from the other two, so that's +9.
Right. I will spend... No, I'm not going to spend another point of edge. This guy has all of the negatives to resist this right now. I would, in fact, be shocked if his intimidation plus willpower is higher than 7 to begin with.
Okay, yeah, you get 4 net successes.
And
It's actually charisma plus willpower. It's a composure test.
It is, nope, it is no longer. It was in the errata. It was changed back in the efficient errata. It
was, yeah.
No, it was changed to a composure test in the errata.
No, on the table that it says here, it is the charisma plus willpower, whereas the errata states that it is willpower plus intimidation.
Well, we
whatever right now.
This is not an official hub ruling, but we will go with what Proper Mike said. I'm okay with that. That makes sense to me for this situation. So
what's amount of his guts is he spilling?
So he's like looking at these implements and looking at your face, and he's feeling the blood dripping down from his nose, and how he doesn't really have great control of his muscles still from being tased. And
shackled to the wall, but
and shackled to the wall. But I mean, he has less movement than he would otherwise. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So Blur found the rule and stuff.
Yeah, I just found it too.
Yep. But it's okay. It would not change much in this case. But yeah, anyway, so he's like looking at all this stuff and looking at you, and maybe it's the way you're looking at him, or maybe it's the glint in your eye. But he can just tell that if he shuts up and doesn't say anything, that thermite bar is going to be used in a way he really doesn't want it to be. And so he starts spilling everything. He gives you the team's name, name of the members of the team. At least their street names. He gives you some information on the Johnson. Essentially the information he had was that the Johnson represented a corporation, mega corporation from Germany, which you can make your own inferences as to what that is. And what other questions did you ask him? Rob or Mike?
I'm sorry, I had muted my mic. I had asked him where the drop-off point was and when they were supposed to drop off the artifact.
So the drop-off points was a small side airstrip in Snohomish, where this same fixer, St. Charles, had organized a second team to take it from there to Cairo, Egypt, where the auction will be held.
Ah, damn it, Egypt.
All right.
Yep.
And when was the drop-off made?
The drop-off was made last night.
All right.
Yep.
And he is quite sure that his team has nothing further to do with this job.
Well, this specific of the two teams he hired, yes.
Oh, okay. So he's the one who also hired the second team to take it to Egypt.
Yep. He organized the runners. So.
I see. All right. And then
When was their flight?
Yes. When was their flight, and where precisely was it landing?
It landed at Cairo International Airport, and it landed. Let's see. It would have landed this morning at approximately 7 a.m.
All right.
Yep.
And
Who else chasing 48-hour-old info?
right.
So what I'm hearing is we have to go to Egypt next.
Yep.
So
Greg.
the other questions I have for him is, what is the team supposed to do when they get to Egypt? Are they dropping it off immediately? Are they sitting in a safe house?
Yeah, he says that they're sitting in a safe house, and that the information you need is on his comlink.
All right. I will then take his comlink, which has no access to the internet. Although I'm assuming I had his comlink already, and I will look through his comlink to verify the information is indeed on the comlink.
Yeah, and indeed it is. The Yeah, it's there in a file, and yeah, it's there. So.
All right. I will then tell him that, of course, I cannot let you go at this point because, well, you still have a team in play.
He says, but I told you everything you asked.
And
You
I
can't
assure
kill
you,
me. I'm too young to die.
And I assure you that if it all checks out, and if we recover the artifacts intact, that you will be perfectly fine. But that said, your continued acquiescence to my lodging requests will ensure that this operation goes much more smoothly.
Yeah. I told you everything. What more do you need from me? You can see that he's like actively like freaking out now, and
what more I need from you is I simply need you to not be in play until I recover what I have been contracted to recover, and your immediate release would be detrimental to that. So let's just say that for the time being, you are my guest.
Yep, he.
And after about an hour, he's gonna pass out anyways, and take
exactly.
and take more physical because
Because of
like that.
fun way that Simpacts work. Yep.
Yeah, I mean it's only one more physical, but
yep,
which is good for him because if I'd had to beat him at all, he would have had more sun and it would have wrapped around into physical more.
Yeah. Luckily, it's you doing this interrogation, and you had ridiculous modifiers. So.
We may, like, over DNI, I will say, we may end up eliminating him anyways. For the time being, the real reason I'm keeping him alive is in case he has more information that we need down the road.
That makes sense. Yep. And
okay. And I will then also contact certain mafioso friends of mine to keep an eye on him. They don't need to go in and beat him or anything. He doesn't need to see anybody's faces. I just need them to make sure that if somebody wanders out that door who's butt naked because I'm taking all of his clothes with me, they need to shoot him. And they need to shoot him dead.
Yeah, they understand and agree.
And then I believe we need to arrange for a flight to Egypt.
Yeah, so this is Egypt we're going to, and I'm awakened. And if you know anything about Egypt, you can see why this is a problem.
Out of character, I know exactly why it's a problem. In character, Mike hasn't actually been to Egypt.
Yep.
They don't like the awakened there, and so do you have a way for us to get into the country under the radar?
There was the airplane, wasn't there?
Yeah, I do believe that our Johnson was offering something along those lines. We will need to clarify with him how under the radar it would be. But if it is under the radar, as I suspect, a dealer in antiquities, even one who is legitimate at this point, has, it will probably suit our purposes. If not, I do know somebody I can contact.
Thank you.
Yep. Sovereign, you can think of one megacorp in Germany that has taken an occasional interest in artifacts.
Right, but why they would be auctioning it off is another thing entirely. Why would a mega corporation go through the effort of recovering this only to sell it off to the highest bidder?
Because a certain someone high up in the corporate structure is has a penchant for labyrinthine plans and plays the long game.
Okay. So please tell me it's not SK.
As a side note, no. But yeah, continue.
Wait, I can think of one megacorp. Which one is it?
Sagercrest.
Please. Okay, it's SK.
Yep.
I figured I didn't want it to be SK. I thought maybe, I don't know.
It might not be.
It might not be. But I guarantee that this, I absolutely guarantee this is not related to Loftware. Like, that is your GM/hub person talking. It is not Loftware related slightly.
Everything SK is related to Loftware.
Okay, but you know what I mean.
I do.
Okay. Yep. What are you looking for, Blair?
I'm just the general watch posted outside roll. See if I see anything.
Okay. Yeah, you don't see anything this time.
I didn't think I did.
Yep. Okay. Yep. So yeah, so what are you guys doing?
I believe we need to contact Dr. Ford and ask him about his arrangements to get us what his arrangements to get us into Egypt under the radar would be. If his pilot is capable of flying us into a nondescript sort of airfield that is not the international airport.
Yeah. So when you call him, he's like, yeah, I've got let's just say I've booked you on a super economy class flight.
Does it have 5-point safety harnesses?
What do you safety harnesses? I mean, you can bring some bungee cords if you'd like.
Wow. I need to make...
The most important question here is it going to bypass customs?
Oh, definitely. What would the point of giving you guys the flight be if you couldn't get in and get out?
All right.
Yep. All right.
All right, so let's get ready to go to Egypt, guys.
Is someone said they were doing something?
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a GM roll here in a second.
Okay.
If the answer's no, you can take the Johnsons, but Hank flies a VTOL for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, Hank thinks he can. That being said, the radar bit is the tricky part. So I mean, it's kind of up to you. So nothing really disguises a VTOL. So if it's seen, that's a problem. Whereas you kind of imagine that the flight that Ford has set up for you is like an old propeller type aircraft that...
Yeah, no, my main question to Hank would be, if I need an exfil that doesn't run on bubblegum and rubber bands, would you be available?
Oh, yes, he is indeed available to do that in case you need to make a quick evacuation.
All right. Well,
Yep.
that's the question. I will let the team know that we can use Dr. Ford's entry method. I do have a backup plan should we need to get out and can't trust the bubblegum and rubber bands.
All right, Mike, how
Cool.
much is this backup exfiltration going to cost us?
That's a good question, but if it gets to the point where we need it, it will cost only as much as as your life.
Let's try not to need it.
Very persuasive. I'll have to
Yes.
accept.
I'm just saying, it is the oh shit, I need to get out of here. Okay, yeah, Mike knows a guy. He can be on standby to get us out. It might be expensive, but how much is your life worth to you?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not,
All right.
but that said, we should probably head out to. I believe you said it was Puyallup.
Yep, it is Puyallup.
Oh, sweet! I can get everything I own there.
Well, one thing that you should keep in note is we probably don't want to go into a foreign country, especially one such as Egypt, and go running around with machine guns or rocket launchers.
I mean, you can. It would make it interesting. Our viewers.
I'm already
don't know
worried
our
enough being a mage in Egypt.
I don't know our current status in terms of what our housing or place will be like over there, nor do I know what the security detail in Egypt generally is. I've never played in Egypt, guys. Out of character. So, in character, knows even less.
So, what I know is all out of character. Mike hasn't actually been to Egypt,
Yep.
so there's only so much I can actually share. But in general, it's much more rigid when you're in society, i.e., in a city, and well, it's like the Barrens everywhere else.
More or less.
So the safe house that we were given,
Because
I-
everywhere else is a barren wasteland, pretty much.
right? So the safe house that we were given, is it well within the bounds of a city limit? I'm going to pull up the equivalent of Google Maps.
Yeah, it is near a market, kind of on the outer edge of Cairo, but still inside the city limits. If you have a relevant knowledge skill, I'll give you an idea of the security rating of the area.
Security design, security tactics.
Security design at -2, I'd let you do. All right, yeah. You guess this zone is probably somewhere between a B and an A. So, it's not the security zone is probably a B or an A, but probably tending towards the B zone. So lower security than some of the other places you've gone on this run, but yeah.
All right. I think it's time.
Response time would be out of character would probably be in like a few D6 minutes. So
Okay.
Butler's going to take everything except for his machine gun.
How long of a flight is it?
it will be well, considering what you're taking, it will take probably a day and a half or so.
And that is still
So-
well before Tuesday. They should
Yep.
still be sitting in the safe house with that. Okay.
Yep.
On the flight, I intend to pick up Egyptian as a language skill.
Okay.
It's not a bad thought. I was thinking about spending one karma to do the same.
Although Egyptian isn't actually listed in.
That's because they speak Arabic. I'm pretty sure in Egypt.
I will pick up Arabic under the assumption that that's what they speak, and we can look it up later and pretend like it's something else. If
I'm pretty sure it's Arabic because I think Egyptian is like what they used to speak before things expanded and stuff. So
Before Arabic, it was Latin.
I think I'm also going to pick up a language skill in German
Okay.
because that seems like it might become apropos.
Yep.
What
Modern standard Arabic is the language there.
All right.
We're just going to do a very cursory search, matrix-wise. He just wants to know how metatypes are treated in Egypt.
Okay. Oops. I keep kicking myself from the table.
And that's a glitch.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Yeah.
It has to be greater than half.
Yeah.
I thought it just had to be half.
No, it's greater. It is greater than half.
Yeah, it's greater than half. So you
That's
lucked out.
why odd number pools are more dangerous than even.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. All right. So yeah, you guys are grabbing your gear. Anyone grabbing something spectacularly big and illegal?
Is Dr. Ford going to furnish us with a safe house or even just part of a hangar where this plane is going to hang out where we can leave something just in case?
He can give you some suggestions of places he's stayed in the past, but no, he isn't able to just arrange anything.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
In that case, no, I will be leaving the full body armor at home.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, because he can put you in contact with one of his archaeologist buddies in Cairo if you need that. But yeah. He's not setting something up immediately, so.
All right.
Let's see. I have a holdout filled with pepper punch. I have a taser. Do I really need anything else? Weapons-wise?
I'm going to take all of my pistols with me.
You know what? I might as well take my pistols with me and my shock glove. But they're all small. And, like, I have about a clip each of ammos variety, so
I have all of the heavy pistol ammo varieties you could care for.
I don't have anything outrageously illegal, and everything I have can pretty much fit into a single bag.
Yep, I also plan on taking my chameleon suit that has the thermal dampening and ruthenium polymer coating for, but that folds up rather small, so.
Yeah.
You never underestimate when you might need a Predator stealth suit.
Oh my god. Playing with pistols is so liberating, though. Like, I can be able to take my primary weapon with me.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So is anyone doing anything else before you go?
Well, I mean, obviously the general paranoid scan when we were kidnapping him of wiping all tags on him so that
For sure, yeah.
So that nobody is tracking his whereabouts. Beyond that, I believe we are just going to let Dr. Ford know that we know what country it's in, and we are going to, because he has to fly us there.
Yep.
And basically let him know that, and I will make mention of him that we did find out that it is going to be auctioned off on Tuesday, so we are going to be moving quickly.
Yep. All right.
And I will take I will take a cooler full of ample amounts of fresh, real food for the team in flight, so we can all have a hearty meal.
All right. Yep. Sounds good.
And refresh an edge.
Mm-hmm.
Since it's probably like a 16-hour flight, I can spend 8 hours learning a language and then sleep.
Yep.
Learning 2 languages, because logic divided by 2.
How cramped is the interior of this plane?
You guys have not made it there, so you don't know.
We are I think we were fast forwarding through to the.
I'm just giving you all a chance to declare what you want to bring with, and then we'll go to the plane. So is everyone?
So basically, I'm taking my B&E gear. I am taking my pistols and the respective ammo, and let's do this, guys.
All right, cool. Any? I think I heard from all of you. So, so you get to the plane, and this tarmac that it's on is just like the saddest little tarmac you've ever seen. And this plane, it looks like it's something out of the 1960s or so. Like it's dual propeller. It's made of corrugated steel. At least parts of it seem to be made of that. And you go up the walkway and stuff, and you find yourself in this hold area of this plane, and it has absolutely 0 seats, and there are a couple of like hay bales and stuff inside, but not there's not really anywhere comfortable to like get on. I mean, other than floor.
That'll be all right.
Yep.
Is it how cramped is it though? Like,
it's pretty cramped. There's a lot of stuff in this, but I mean, it's not going to like make you go crazy or anything, if that makes sense.
Even if I have claustrophobia?
Yeah, it's small, but it's not small enough to ruin your claustrophobia. So.
All right.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, if you had to get into one of the crates to hide or something, that would be a different story. But for now, you're okay. Yep.
We'll play some cards. We'll learn some new languages. We'll take a nap in the hay.
Yep.
We're going to search the Matrix for new hair designs.
I apologize, GM. I will also be taking my RCC and 3 fly spies.
Okay. Yep. And so you follow a very circuitous route.
Circuitous.
Yep. Yep. And sorry, my stuff is freezing over here. And you after many hours later, about 26 in total, you have landed on almost every continent on Earth, and you finally reach your destination, landing on a small airstrip just outside the city limits of Cairo.
Oh, I forgot to ask, but I would assume Dr. Ford wouldn't just leave us at an airstrip. He would have arranged for some vehicle for us.
Yep. There's a small, what looks like a Jeep of some type, sitting there. It looks like it's about 30 or 40 years old, but it still starts up when you try and start it. Yep. Yep. So you guys land, and you are on the border of Cairo.
Bookworm is going to mask as mundane as hard as she can.
Okay.
I don't know what that was. It just I clicked on a button and it just rolled a d6.
And and Dr. Ford did come through with those papers, shall we say?
Yep. They are legitimate like pieces of paper that identify you as researchers under the UCAS UCAS Egyptian Archaeological Pact, which gives you permissions to move about the city, more or less.
Excellent. So. Then we will drive into Cairo, and
Yep.
I will roll my 16 dice of negotiation to find a suitable hotel near the other safe house.
Okay. Yep.
And by suitable, I obviously mean one that isn't going to check sins.
Yeah, you definitely find a small hostel then that is willing to take the 5 of you in. It's going to cost about 500 in total, so 100 each.
All right. I think that's fine to have a place here while we form some recon so that we aren't all just wandering around the streets.
Yep, exactly.
And with that, I think that we need to get some eyes on the prize. And by that, I actually just mean the safe house right now.
Yep. All right. So yeah.
Who would like to go inspect this safe house?
I can go. I can be unseen. In fact, that is probably what they hire me for.
All right. I will be more than happy to drive randomly around the area should you need some backup. We can go. Oh, actually, there was a bazaar. There was a market nearby. I think.
And you'll have to walk through it to the safe house. So.
I think as a tourist, it would be remiss of me not to visit the local bazaar.
I think that sounds like a proper idea, Mike.
Yep.
I don't think that we should all go as a group to the bazaar, but
no, of course not.
Shopping as well.
Yep.
And so we will stagger our exits from the hostel, maybe going in ones or twos, and shop at a bazaar.
Oh, actually, before we leave, I'm not entirely sure what their policy and or mentality on metas is, but I'm not sure that they like metas in the Middle East, so I am going to put on a disguise to make myself look at least a bit more human.
Okay.
Allow me to assist.
That's a rating 6 disguise.
Very nice.
I'm just gonna let someone disguise me for me, because there ain't no way I'm doing it. The best I'm gonna do is pull my hair down over my ears because it's a meter long.
Well, here's another assist.
Fine. Here. And this is Sovereign first applying foundation, then, going through all the motions.
Yep, that makes sense.
Okay, that's a rating 3 disguise.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to build use my disguise kit to also build a disguise.
Okay.
Yeah, but yours just looks super mundane, right?
Alright, just need one more. Alright, there we go.
Alright.
And now to apply the disguise.
Would you like assistance applying it?
Oh, yes.
Go ahead.
Would you like more assistance in applying it?
I'd say it's too late now.
Yeah, probably. All right. Any more disguising or anything like that going on?
Mike is going to stand on the disguise that he's been wearing the whole time. So.
Yep. That is perfectly acceptable.
Of course, at this point, he probably has like 50 or so disguises saved to the false face, so including one of a brigadier general in the UCAS military, but we won't go into that.
Anyway, so who is leaving first, and what are you doing?
Um,
I guess Sovereign is leaving first.
is Sovereign male or female?
Sovereign is a female.
Mike would offer his arm and offer to walk her towards the bazaar, because happy couples always make the best cover.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah, so you two walk towards this bazaar, and it's just a crush of people. You notice that most of them are humans, and they're all pushing at one another, trying to get in line, but at various different stalls. There's stalls selling fine cloths. There's stalls selling comlinks. There's stalls selling pretty much any assortment of things you might find at some sort of market. The sand's kind of shifty beneath your feet, and yeah, it's just quite a few people. They're all dressed in very light robes, because it's Egypt and it's hot.
Well, and like a proper tourist, I'm wearing a white suit because.
Yep.
Electrochromatic.
Yep, exactly. Yep. And they can kind of tell that you guys are foreigners. I mean, it kind of shows a little bit.
Sovereign's blonde. It kind of
Mike,
shows.
And Mike is actually currently deeply tanned,
okay.
Feathered looking.
But you're hanging out with a very blonde foreigner, though. So
yeah. Yeah, Mike just got done spending almost a week in the Caribbean, so
that is true. Yep. So, but yeah, so you and you guys are strolling through the market. What are you guys gonna do?
I think we are going to detach, and Mike is going to go about looking at knickknacks and souvenirs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So just to make sure I have the right of it, there is effectively a safe house we need to find. Yes, scope out.
You need to scope it out. You know the address, so.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay.
Proper Mike.
Mike will offer to send a flashby with her that she can release when she's not in a huge crowd of people.
Yep. Proper Mike. The best deal in the bazaar is an authentic bullwhip that is replica of the prop used in the original Indiana Jones movies.
And how much is this replicable whip from the Indiana Jones movies?
50 nuyen. I'm
going to deduct 50 nuyen and a bullwhip to my sheet.
Yep. So yeah. Yep. All right, Sovereign. What are you doing?
Yep. Sovereign is ducking out of the crowd into an alleyway.
Yep. Yeah. There. You definitely do that. You kind of that phenomena when you're a big crowd of people and then you make a turn and then suddenly there's no one. That is what you feel right now.
Okay.
It's just there were people and now there's not.
I'm gonna be actually, that should be in detail because I'm looking for any hobo that might want to shank me, and hope that there's not.
Yep. With your one success.
2, because it's in detail.
Yeah, your 2 successes. Yeah, you get the sense that there might be someone that was following you, and you think you might have caught a couple of glances of him, but yeah.
Okay. So, at this point, I am going to duck around because this is a bazaar. Like, is it like an open air bazaar? Is it a covered bazaar?
Yeah, it's an open air bazaar.
Okay. Either way, there's still like buildings and streets and more
for sure.
alleyways.
Yep.
So what I'm gonna do is I am going to round about a corner, try to up my pace, and then basically like bound another corner in order to try to lose the tail that I feel like I acquired.
Okay.
I am way more happy with that roll.
Yes. You make some quick turns down alleyways, and double back a little bit, and you're pretty sure you've lost the person that was tailing you.
Okay. And this is the point that I make my way over to the safe house. I am going to try to hug Wallace as much as I can.
Yep.
Basically make as little a profile as I can possibly, and make. And give it a look over.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm just
making my
this actually. Oh.
Suddenly
Yep,
the pyramids grew taller. Presumably I don't have a view of the floor plan, but I will.
Right. Yeah. I'm just giving you the general sense of what the shape of this building is.
Okay. I am also going to release the fly spider on this point.
Yep. There are lots of open windows in this safe house. It's kind of a small villa.
Okay. Well, first things first. Visual perception in detail, because I want to see any cameras that there might be.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
I get to keep all of them.
Yeah. You see there are a few cameras. It looks like 3 on the outside that you can see. It's not excellent coverage.
Okay. And how tall is it again? 1 story, 2 story?
Yeah, it's 1 story, and it's just kind of spread out.
1 story, wonderful.
Yeah. To give you an idea, that's to scale, where 1 square is a meter.
Okay, 1 square. Which square?
So like one of the Roll20 grid squares is a meter.
Okay, each grid square is a meter. Cool.
Yep.
Okay, each is 5 foot.
Here, I'll just.
Any chance you could set your table to be in 1 and meters?
Yep. That's what I'm gonna do right now. 1 meter. Okay, there you go.
Cool. Okay.
Yep.
It's not that big. It's also not that small either.
Yeah, I mean it's fairly large for a safe house. I mean, this is very clearly a nice Egyptian villa of some type or another. So.
Okay. So, I think I'm gonna release the fly spy. Are there any open windows?
Oh yeah. So like, I don't know if you've like seen pictures of Cairo and stuff, but a lot of their floor plans and stuff include just openings. And so yeah, there are definitely open places you can look through. And I'm gonna go back to Bookworm. What are you doing? Other than hoping that no one notices you're awakened.
Yeah, so I'm going to go to the just going to be browsing the bazaar like Mike is, and every once in a while just like take a quick 1 second peek into the astral just to see if there's anything that could be sensing me.
There's not anything currently that is sensing you.
Alright. Then basically just, trying to keep my head down until it's time to do something.
Okay. Sounds good. Cassandra, how about you? Cassandra?
Unmute yourself.
Connection
troubles then.
Cassandra? Alright. Let's see. Blur, how about you? We haven't heard from you in a second.
I just rolled a little while up in the chat log just to visually see if I could find Egyptian ceramic weapon mods. Because he thinks he's heard about them, but he has no idea if they're in the open market or not.
As a side note, are those somewhere in a book somewhere?
Ceramic components, yes. They're in hard
They're
targets.
incredibly illegal.
In UCAS, they are.
They are probably not. They are probably still not just openly
they're
available.
They're not the kind of thing you're going to find in an open air bazaar.
Yeah.
Unless you're in
and then he doesn't find
South
it. It's
Africa.
funny.
Unless you're in the crime mall.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're probably not going to just find that out there, but
that's fine. Then I don't find it.
Yep. But yeah, are you doing anything else?
Just once in a while, just checking the immediate surroundings, and you can use the same visual test for that if you want, or I'll make a separate one.
I'll let you do that. And yeah, you don't notice anything peculiar at this point. It's just more of the same of what I've described already. Yep.
Yeah, out of character. The Fly Spy, like I said, isn't super stealthy because it's running off auto softs. I'm not a rigger.
Yep.
It's long range surveillance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, in that case, then it's not needed.
Yep.
It does have a directional microphone though.
Yeah, I'll point that directional microphone at a wall.
No, not laser microphone, directional microphone.
Oh,
to the open window.
Towards the open window, yes. Okay, I'm sorry. I got those two confused.
Yep. So yeah, so you're going to do that. What's the sensor rating?
It is a rating 3 sensor.
Okay. All right, yeah.
But it has audio enhancement too, so it can keep all 4.
All right. Yep. With all 4, you hear small bits of this conversation going. It's in. Do you have any understanding of German?
I did take a point of German.
Okay.
I have 2 or 3 points of German.
Yep. So if you know German, roll German.
Or 1 point.
I picked up German and Arabic, and when I picked up German, I was like, because that sounds like it might be apropos.
Yep.
And here it is, being apropos.
Yep. So yeah. So these these runners you have tracked to the safe house are just kind of chatting right now. You get the sense from their conversation they're talking about some sort of card game, and it seems like 3 of them are playing that, and you don't know what the 4th one's doing. So, because you don't hear the 4th one say anything or move around or anything.
Basically, there's 3 distinct voices.
Yep.
For
And
all I know, there's basically 3 people there.
Yeah, exactly.
I was being tailed. I think I know where the 4th is.
Yep.
Speaking of, just a quick general perception in detail, because I want to make sure I lost that tail.
You happy with that roll?
Yeah.
You think you lost your tail.
Cool.
I mean, you don't see anyone around, at least.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
The character thinks she lost her tail. What else did she, so...
Yep.
So, Mike is going to be giving the visual in detail as she re-enters the market.
All right.
Does Mike spot anybody tailing her?
So Sovereign's back in the market now.
I thought you were using a tail? Coming back?
I am, well, yeah, I'm coming back, doubling back, and, just generally trying to lose the...
I'm sorry, I got distracted by real life things. What was the conversation we picked up?
Oh yeah, so there were 3 voices talking about a card game that they were playing currently. There was no evidence of a 4th voice.
Okay.
Yep. And Sovereign made the connection that she had been tailed once already. So yeah, and so you do not see anyone like actively following Sovereign right now.
Okay. And was what they were saying about a card game actually in code using my tradecraft? That's espionage, sir.
Yeah. It was not in code. And that's my bad. You also heard like the sound of like chips and stuff. It's very clear they're playing cards right now.
You were hidden while you did all that too, right?
Okay. I think I get to keep all that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Sovereign's fun. She.
Yep.
Logic
Where are
7
you using
infiltrator.
Where are you using your tradecraft ciphers for?
Oh, same thing. Like.
Okay. Yeah.
The sort of like passive. Does this sound like a cipher to her?
It does not sound like a cipher. It sounds like a card game.
Okay. Perfect.
Yep. Yep. So Sovereign sneaking back through the bazaar, back towards the hostel, I guess. Proper Mike, you're kind of keeping an eye on her, looking for the tail. Bookworm, are you still freaking out about mages? Or what are you doing? Hello? Have we lost like half the people in this call?
I'm still here.
I'm here.
Okay.
Blur's here.
Okay, because I think we lost Nick and Cassandra, so because they're not talking.
Well, their icons in actual Skype are like generics.
Yeah. Are you guys muted by any chance? Yeah, we're not hearing you, Nick. Yep.
Did you mess with your mic's volume when you were? Because remember, it randomly spazzed out before.
Yep. Okay. So Okay, yeah, he accidentally knocked his mic out of his socket a couple minutes ago. All right. Well, while you figure that out, Nick, why don't you guys kind of discuss where you want to go from here? We've been running for about 5 hours now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
All right, cool.
I think we are rapidly approaching the kick in the door and take the object.
Yep. So why don't you guys...
Or the sneak in a window and take the object with the muscle on standby.
Yep. Why don't you guys kind of discuss just very quickly what types of things you want to find out before you do that, et cetera, et cetera. And then I'm going to step away for a few minutes while you do that, and then I will come back and we will very quickly do the last bit of investigation you guys need to do, and then we'll run the kick in the door. Sound good?
Yep.
All right.
Yep, and you guys can also take a break before that if you need it. So.
Alright, so I would like, if you guys relate that you found 3 guys inside and we know it's a 4-man team, I'd like to forcefully look as a team for wherever the 4th member is. Since we didn't know that there was someone tailing you, or did you put that in DNA? I don't remember.